It seems like I am caught up in a time warp in the 90s. I know this is April 2025, but this news has come about and I feel like cricket is going back in a rather positive way in the 90s. Because in the current ICC meeting that is going on in Harare, there is one major rule change that they are contemplating, and this might be welcome news for people who believe that bowlers have been reduced to bowling machines and that bat is dominating in a never before seen incident in cricket. The major rule which we are getting to know from Harare is that the ICC is contemplating scrapping the use of 2 new balls in ODIs. Now, for people who have to understand what is the history of ODI cricket, ever since 1971, initially it was played with the red ball. When colored clothing came on in the 1990s, you decided to play with the white ball. After that, there have been certain changes in the power play, certain changes in all these conditions, but there has been a history even with the ball change, because initially starting with red, then it switched to white, and then you have been playing with that mixed format until the early 90s and all that. Then you switched to permanent white ball ODI cricket in the 2000s because colored clothing was there. Now, in 2007, there was a mandatory ball change that had to be done after over number 34. That was the first major thing when a ball change came into the bit. But from 2012 onwards, October 2012 onwards, even in 2011 it was tried. 2 new balls each end per innings. Now that ensured that whatever happened, cricket changed forever with that rule. So instead of having only one power play, it became a kind of a lighter version of power plays with these 2 new balls. Because remember, 1990s onwards until the 2000s, there was only one power play, 1 to 15. After that, the batting power play, bowling power play, all came into the ODI setup to change things necessitated by change in the format and also the introduction of T20s. Now, with the 2 new balls, how did the scoring change? There is a consideration why the ICC are going back to the 1990s. Because, look at it. Pre the ball change, this is the 2007 period. 2007 period, the average runs per innings in an ODI was 204. This is the data that is there in one of the articles that's there in ESPN Cricinfo, where they've compiled a huge exhaustive statistical list. Now, ever since the 2 new ball change has happened in 2012, the average runs per innings has shot up to 227, which is a 23-run leap. So clearly we know that batters are getting an advantage unlike never before. And just one simple statistical merit, the matrix that has been employed here is 400 plus totals. Gradually, when the first thing was that only one ball would be there, 250 would be a match-winning total. In the decades that have followed, 300, 350, 400. Look at it. Pre-2007, in 2006, you had only 4 scores in excess of 400 plus. Now from 2007 till 2025, in a matter of 18 years, because of the way T20s also come in, and because of the 2 new ball rules, 21. The first ball change was in 2007. The second ball change has been in 2012. 21 instances of 400 plus totals. Now we know that batters are enjoying it far more, bowlers are reduced to bowling machines. And finally, the ICC, which is also where Saurav Ganguly is also part of now, one of the technical committee members, he's learned from history. Because this 2 new ball rules was always criticized. One by Ravichandran Ashwin. Ashwin, in a couple of years back on his show, he mentioned until 2013-14, ODIs was played with one ball. 2 balls were introduced. That rule was meant to nullify India's spin advantage. But the one who knew it all, the one who envisioned this years ago, Sachin Ramesh Tendulkar, he mentioned having 2 new balls in ODIs is a perfect recipe for disaster. Each ball is not given time to get old enough to reverse. We haven't seen reverse swing, an integral part of death overs, for a long time. Trust Sachin to know the entire nuances of cricket with such fine detail. 2 new balls. How can anybody get it to reverse swing in 25 overs? 1 ball with now the caveat that you can use saliva instead of sweat. ODIs can get far more balanced. Now it is skewed entirely to the batters. And if you look at it, Sourav Ganguly, about 5 years back, he did mention another 4,000 or so, 2 new balls. Wow, sounds like a cover drive flying to the boundary in the first over of the game. For the remaining 50 overs, Sachin Ramesh Tendulkar. Sachin, this brings back wonderful memories. Dadi, like 6,000 runs they were paying tribute to by the ICC. How many more do you think we would have been able to score with the restriction of 4 fielders outside and 2 new balls? That's why. 2 new balls ensured that run scoring became so much more easier, plus the fielding restrictions changed, power play restrictions and all changed. This is the right way now, with the ICC having that meeting in Harare, to redress that balance. Scoring rates have gone exponentially higher. 400 plus now is the new normal. ODIs, even you look at 2023, 400 plus, that was the norm. 350 plus. Anything less than 350 is now considered, trouble. That's how ODIs have changed. And now one hopes that the 2 new ball things are scrapped and that we go back into the 90s. Those were the days, my friend, because when you look at it, watching ODIs at that time was a pleasure. Thank you so much, folks, for joining us for this video. Subscribe to Sports Today for all the latest news and analysis.